to you live from the Hellmouth Adjacent. It's the Popular Cinema Podcast. I'm your co host, Payne,
And with one eardrum left, I'm your co-host Bill.
and
Was that
welcome
supposed to
to.
be that loud?
Yeah, yeah.
Holy crap. I think we need some kind of like volume equalizer, like leveler, because you're going to bust people's eardrums and they're not going to be able to hear the rest of the bon mots that we drop on the show.
Welcome to episode 89. Same show with old problems. Same old problems.
I'm
You
going to
know,
buy
it's.
you kind of kit for Christmas.
Yeah, I was sitting there thinking of it. Instead of me, currently I'm building my arcade cabinet, Bill, and I'm looking up getting fluorescent lighting and T molding and marquee brackets. Maybe I could look for getting better equipment. I
What's
didn't
the
think of
fluorescent
that
light for?
because you put it inside the cabinet, so the marquee, that says like Payne's,
Payne's
you
Games.
know, arcade or classic games, it shines it through.
Oh,
It's the light behind the picture that makes it glow.
right. Old school. Apparently you don't know, you're not familiar with LED.
Oh, well, I guess I could get LED, right? That's,
Probably be easier.
you're right. I need to look into. I was about to purchase some brackets and some fluorescent lighting for I thought $20, and then when the shipping came out, it came to $38. I immediately xed out my cart and went to another website.
Why don't you just buy everything from Amazon? Does
Well,
Amazon
the
not
funny thing
have
is they don't
everything?
have marquee brackets on Amazon. You
Really?
know,
Are you
yeah, some
sure
of the
about that?
stuff I am sure about it because trust me, I've been I purchased paint from Amazon.
Did you really?
Yeah, I got primer delivered to. I have primer coming to my house tomorrow from Amazon.
Do they not have primer at the Home Depot?
This was special primer. This is oil-based Zinsser primer.
I bet you they have that at Home Depot.
They don't. I've checked
Okay.
because not everybody uses oil-based paint anymore.
You know what I would like? I would like a running total once you're done with this whole game machine project of every penny you've spent on this project till now. I'm just curious.
I've been keeping track. I made a spreadsheet and I'm going to go through. I was keeping track like every penny by writing it in there onto the sheet, and then I stopped. But I'm
Why?
going to go back through and go through all the receipts.
So what do you have any idea what you're up to in a round figure at this point?
Oh, I'm probably at least at $400 or $500.
Okay. Because you're getting to the point where you might as well have just bought one. I'm just saying.
I'm not there yet, but my woman looked at me the other day, and I already think I told you this that she said that
I'm done with this project.
yeah, she's like the time's up in this house. She's just like time's up for this arcade thing. Because part of it is what she'll do is she'll open up like I'll go out into the garage, and then all of a sudden I'll be out there for like 10 minutes, and then she'll open the door and she'll pop her head out, and she'll look at me, and then she'll pop her head back in, and you're not really sure if it's disgust or she wanted to know where I was at, but it's kind of like, oh, you're out here again. So I mentioned the other day that I'm actually not spending that much on making the cabinet. She's like, whatever. I'm filing a loss of consortium suit. So
What does that mean? Loss of consortium for the ignoramuses.
that's a loss of a man not paying attention to his woman. That's what that
Oh,
is.
oh my. Okay.
So that's, as they would say, incalculable.
You have a
Incalculable.
mistress, and her name is Arcadia, and she has taken all of your attention away from your woman.
I just want to sit there. Oh, she's asleep. Let me pull up my tablet and see what type of artwork I can put on the side.
Mhm. Okay,
Did I say this is episode 89? Because you
you
interrupted
did.
me with your nonsense.
You did. And how is your Memorial Day weekend going so far?
Oh, Memorial Day weekend is going fine. I don't know. We went out to a little bit of town to kind of walk around and look at the sights. You know, um, You got to
Like,
do that every
how,
now and then.
where did you go?
We went to
Downtown?
Vermilion.
What's Vermilion? Is it like a suburb?
Yeah, it's like take a dart. You ever do those one of those? You ever see those ads like one tank trips? You just kind of try to find some place that's close by that you can visit, but not too far, where you don't have to worry about like taking a plane ticket or whatever else. Just a little jaunt over, 20,
So what
30
did you
minutes
do
from where you
there?
live. Did you say something?
Yeah, I said, what did you do there?
Oh, we walked around, looked at some of the stores, went down to the beach, you know, looked at some of the museums, had some lunch, and then drove back.
This is a new couple thing. New couples do this kind of shit. Old
It's take
couples, we don't really do that kind of thing.
it's taking a little bit of an adventure, Bill. That's all it is. A little bit of adventure and try some new food out. And you're like, ooh, what is this? Oh, this is lemon pepper chicken. Ooh, with some cosmic sauce. I'll take some of that. Let me have that. Ooh, how's yours?
Okay. All right.
Try out a couple new restaurants. We did that. Oh, by the way, we did have superfan Melissa and her husband and superfan Carlos over to the house for dinner.
Yeah. And how'd that go?
It went well. It went well. So we fixed these bowls,
Yeah.
like with sticky rice, and then we had different meats, steak, chicken, and fish, then
Yeah.
with all some sort of sides, and you just kind of make your own bowl.
What kind of fish did you use?
Salmon.
Okay.
We had two different salmons. One was teriyaki salmon, and one was just plain salmon.
Sounds like a
Yeah,
nice time.
yeah, it was good. It was good. I think it was nice to have everybody else telling old stories. Thinking of that, this is episode 89, Bill. And by the way, this is the year that we graduated, and our
Oh,
30th year reunion is around
yeah.
the corner.
Yeah, we're going right for sure. Definitely. Not even
Oh, yeah.
question.
Yeah, I bought my ticket. Did you get
Yeah.
yours?
How much was the ticket?
I don't know. I only think I even opened up the email. So I
Yeah, we're
haven't
not.
deleted the email, but I haven't opened it.
Okay. Well, so are you somewhat, what does that mean exactly? Are you on the fence about it? Do you care about it? What's the deal?
Oh no, I'm not on the fence on about it. We didn't go to the 10th year, the 15th, the 20th, the 25th, and the 30th. I don't even know if you know how to make your way back to Youngs. I'm sorry,
I do
back
know
to
how to
our
make my way
hometown.
back to Youngstown, but I won't be going for that. So there's that.
But anyway, how are you? How has it been going for you on your end?
It's fine. I'm just relaxing for the weekend, enjoying my time off, you know.
For the people out there, you've sent me a photo today of something that you just purchased for your shrine. Can you
I
tell
did.
the audience what it is?
Well, I replaced my backlit old school movie poster case in my bedroom, which is kind of like the focal point of my room, with a 4K television that I'm using as a poster case vertically. So I just turn it on its side, mount it on the wall, poof, instant digital poster case.
Nice. So how big is this?
It is 50 inches. So it is like 45 inches tall and like 27 inches wide.
And it's a
20,
television.
correct. It's a
And you
flat
just turned it
sideways.
instead of horizontal, you just turned it vertical and hung it up on your wall.
Correct.
And then you just upload pictures, images in there through what means?
I use a Roku, and I put them on a flash drive, and then I just load them into the Roku and turn the Roku on. And then the high definition pictures, I can either display them as a slideshow or as a static image.
I honestly think that you could really be a millionaire if you used your brain for more than what you're using it for now. I mean,
They have these, but they're very expensive. Some of them, like you could spend like about $1,000 on a poster case, and I thought, why would I need to spend that kind of money when I can just use a television, a 4K TV, which you can buy for like $300 now,
this is
which I
why
did.
people hate America because you're just buying televisions just to use as picture frames. That's what you're doing. You're just like, I want a 55-inch television. What do you want to use it for? A picture frame, just so I can just change the images for me. That's
It
it,
was
huh?
only, it
Yep.
was only, it was only, it was a Samsung, but it was only $300 something. I mean, that's really not that bad, really.
Uh-huh. Yes, that's this capitalism right here. Is exactly capitalism. But
Well,
but
here's the reasoning behind this. This is my reasoning behind this. Okay, when I would have to buy an original poster because it's a backlit poster case, it has to be a double-sided original poster for me to put in there because the single-sided posters, the light is too bright, it shines through, and it doesn't look right. Now, for some of these bigger movies, blockbuster movies like Avengers: Infinity War, I went on to look onto eBay where I usually buy my posters, and the poster price is just climbing and climbing and climbing, where it's like up to $150 for a single poster. Why should I do that when I can spend $0 on the artwork, buy a television for 300 and something dollars, and then you have all the poster images that I need that I can just download for free in high definition 4K quality instead of paying $150 for one single poster?
long ago, while I hear what you're saying and it makes sense, long ago there was these startup companies, Kickstarter, whatever you want, where it's the same thing, which I heard like Bill Gates has this in his house, where you just essentially have what you have, a television, a computer, a monitor, but it's in a frame, like a picture frame, and
Right.
that
They
you're
have
able to.
them and make them.
Yes, I've always kind of wanted one, just where you can just switch out the image. But of course, with some of that stuff, you have to buy their picture package with it or whatever else like that. Um, the I'm going to sidetrack myself here. These posters, these movie posters that you're getting here, $150 a pop.
Yeah.
Why are they so expensive?
Because people will pay that for an original movie piece of memorabilia that they can own and keep for the rest of their lives and display
Are
and
they
sell.
all 100? Are they all?
No, no, it just depends. It depends on the movie and the demand for the poster. Infinity War's poster was a very popular movie, so the poster was in demand and it was very popular, so they could charge up to $150 for the poster and people will buy it.
Now,
Star Wars posters are impossible to find for that, for less than that.
what do you mean, like Phantom Menace?
Phantom Menace, an original Phantom Menace would be, yeah, way more than $150.
Okay, so what's the next big movie that's coming out right now?
Aladdin tomorrow. We're going to see
Okay.
it.
Aladdin's coming out tomorrow?
Well, it's out. We're going to see it tomorrow.
Okay. Um, so an original Aladdin poster, what is that trending for then?
Probably about 50, $60.
50, $60. So if I buy one, does the price go up? Is this become like a collector items? Is this like a
It
Beanie
is a
Baby
collector's
thing?
item. Eventually, when the movie goes out and it's been out for a long time and the posters become lesser what do I want to say, prolific, then yeah, it'll be price will probably go. It just depends on the movie. I don't know if Aladdin's a hit, maybe the price will go up. If Aladdin's a bomb, which we yet to see, I haven't yet to see box office results for the weekend yet. Have you?
No, I have not yet. I'm just curious about this because I used to collect comic books. I still have the collection here. Do you know when you buy an original poster for like Infinity War or whatever Phantom Menace that there's like we've only printed out 1,000 of these posters here, and you have one, or is it just that they're just going to keep reprinting it and just selling it at $150 a pop? How do I know?
No, the reprints do not get that kind of money. They reprint them all the time, but they don't get original money.
How do I know I have an original?
Well, you buy from a reputable dealer that says original, and the originals are usually two-sided posters
Okay, well I've been to your house. Where do you hide all these posters that you've bought before?
in my basement.
You ever plan on selling them?
Probably at a garage sale what we're having next week, maybe a
Why don't you
couple
just
weeks.
give them to me if you're going to sell them at a garage sale? I give you like $5 a piece for them.
What are you gonna do with them?
Sell them on eBay for more.
Yeah, that's why I'm not giving them to you. That's just why.
Oh, that's very interesting. Well, let me give you a compliment here because this will be the only one I give you on the show. I
That's
think
kind
it's always very interesting when you start doing these Dexter's Laboratory where you're hanging up things, hooking up Roku's, and pulling up images, and it sounds like a lot of work, but somehow
It
you
was a
seem
lot of
to
work.
figure it out.
It was a lot of work, and I'm anal retentive with things like this. So, the fact that I had originally put it up with that no stud holder, I got off Amazon, and then it was like half an inch off. I had to take the whole stud thing down, redo it, put it back up. It was a pain in my ass.
So what
Yeah.
what picture do you have up in your television currently?
Right now, I'm watching Saving Private Ryan, and then after that, I'll probably watch Logan. So I have those loaded up and ready to go.
Why are you watching? What's the deal with Saving Private Ryan? Is
It's
it Memorial
Memorial
Day
Day.
weekend?
Yeah, it's Memorial Day weekend, and it's kind of Although I gotta be honest, it's really not holding up well for me. It's really not keeping my interest. I hate to say that because it's historical and it's like Spielberg but it's just kind of. Uh,
Yeah, you feel how you
eh.
feel. Yeah, let me. They would when the super fans were over and they were talking. They mentioned Band of Brothers. I haven't seen Band of Brothers. I know I was with you when you a quick
Bought
side
the
story. When
DVD.
you got the Band of Brothers Silver
DVD.
10 edition, whatever else. It had like a small dent in it. It was about the half the size of a penny, and you took it back to the store and requested and demanded a new, Band of Brothers
Yeah,
undamaged Silver 10, whatever.
DVD case is what it is.
Okay. I haven't seen Band of Brothers. Why does it seem so popular? How many
It's
episodes?
very
Is it a
good.
good
There's 10
story?
episodes. There's 10 episodes, and it's very good. I would actually say Band of Brothers is better than Saving Private Ryan, and I would watch Band of Brothers again, but it's 10 hours, and I don't really want to commit 10 hours to that kind of story.
This doesn't seem like this would be in your wheelhouse. Are you watching it because you're gay and you're just looking at the men? What's the deal?
No, it's not. But they're really not even like good looking. They're all in like army drab. It's terrible
Okay.
outfits. But I mean,
Then what am I missing? Because I haven't pulled it up and I feel like I should
you
be
should watch
watching.
Band of Brothers. You should. There's a sequel to it too called The Pacific, which isn't as good. But Band of Brothers is very good. It's just long. It's 10 hours long. If you want it, but you could watch it like a TV series, like a mini series, is what it
Well, I don't have
is.
a problem watching it. I just I don't know what the attraction is. Is it just good storyline? Is it just
It's people fighting the good fight when there was a world in which everything was like black and white. Hitler was the bad guy, America was the good guys. Not like it is today where everything's all fucked. It was like, back then it was like, they were doing the right thing to save the world, and it's kind of cool.
I wonder if
Sacrifice their lives.
Is Band of Brothers out there on any medium like Hulu
Yeah, it's
or
on HBO now, asshole. It's on HBO.
really?
Yeah,
You know what?
it's
You
an
know what I'll
HBO
do
series.
after I finish watching The Shield, all 5 seasons. I'm on the fourth season again for like the fifth or sixth time. I'm gonna add Band of Brothers to my queue. I might be one of the few people who didn't get rid of my HBO subscription after the end of Game of Thrones.
Wow.
Um, so
So
that
it's
remind,
long. The first episode is kind of boring when they're in boot camp, and it's like, oh, can we get on with it already? But the rest of the story is very good.
how many episodes do I need to get through before I'm locked in?
Too.
Okay, well, all right, that's fine. Superfan Nadia sent us an email.
Yeah.
It's very good. I enjoyed reading her email. She had some things here. We can just start jumping all around all over the place here. She was watching Game of Thrones. Now she hasn't watched the series from the beginning, but of course she enjoyed the ending because the good people won. I know you talked to me for the past couple weeks because I think when I talk to you every day, you've allowed me at least 10 to 15 minutes to bitch about Game of Thrones.
Hmm.
And you listen patiently. And you told me for today's show that I would be allotted like, I don't know, 60
10
seconds.
minutes. You're at 10 minutes.
I'm not going to
Because
take
the
2 minutes.
whole rest of the world, while grieving Game of Thrones in their own various ways, has moved on. It's time to give it up.
I'm going to say this. I think you turned me on to the meme where it shows it takes all the seasons of Game of Thrones and it puts it on like this horse
Right.
that like the first four seasons you see this a picture of a horse, an artist rendering of a horse, and it's all very detailed and it looks like a Picasso painting. And then as you get to the season five, the horse starts changing into essentially a watercolor drawing made by an eighth grader. And that's where the seasons went for me. The eighth season probably is one of the worst seasons I've seen on television in a long while. And Game of Thrones really just shit the bed for me at the end. All around, in terms of writing, direction, it just didn't make any sense. It was sloppy. It was sloppy. And so, right now, if the episode 8 was on fire, I wouldn't even piss on it.
Wow.
So, I'm kind of done with that. I have two comments to make. After that, George R. R. Martin has indicated that he has vowed to have the book finished by the summer of 2020. I don't know if you saw that.
It's about a year too late, but okay. Sure, that counts. Why
there
not?
was there was also a petition out there, which I really didn't click on a lot, and that was calling for what was it for them to rewrite the whole season 8 or something like
The
that.
writer.
I think that's what they were, but they had like at least 1 million people sign it, over half a million people sign it. Um, I think obviously that's not something HBO is going to be doing or whatever else, but I think it's a way of protesting. And I support the people who are doing that, showing their displeasure, because every time I get my movie entertainment updates bill, it tells me the records of viewership that Game of Thrones is breaking. That's good
So
for them.
here's my question. Rather than have people sign petitions to redo season 8, which we all know is not going to happen, no matter how many pissed off protesting, you know, papers people write, it's not going to happen. Why not just say the experience was what it was? I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. That's a shame. But over here, they're doing this show that I really love, so I'm just going to focus my energy on enjoying that show. Why don't people just do that?
Bill, you have to vent and express your displeasure.
I understand, but signing a petition in order to have something redone that you know is not going to get redone seems a little bit over the top to me. Look, I didn't love a lot of things either. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to focus all my negative energy on it. I just say, you know what? That was a waste of my time. I'll never get those 2 hours back. Onward to the next
I
thing.
can see this is the thing. You want to give can I say constructive criticism?
Sure.
Because when these directors, writers, creators go on to other projects, you want them to learn from their mistakes and improve, not just sit somewhere in a bubble where they go, we've got 44 million people watching our show. We must be doing great. Our shit doesn't stink. No, no, you want to let them know that they can do better and that they need to do better. You know, so
The don't you? I guess the way to get that message across to people would have best been to tune out.
we were not tuning out. That's not the way it works in society. You can't tell me that I'm locked and loaded and enjoyed a series from the beginning, from season 1 and season 4. It's almost saying that I went and saw Ant-Man and I did not like Ant-Man. But then I'm just gonna just turn out on the whole universe because I didn't really enjoy that segment of it, and I want to see how it ends. I'm not going to not watch a Game of Thrones because I want to see the general who takes the throne, who lives, and who dies. You can't. I'm not tuning out, Bill. The program has you like crack cocaine. It's not a. There's no way. There's no way. especially since it's the last season. It was not like somehow shit the bed in season 2, and now I'm at season 7. It's like Walking Dead. I gave up on Walking Dead, but they keep pumping out. There is no end in sight. If you told me that after you left in season 2, like somehow that they were only going to do 3 seasons, then I'm like, well, I might just watch it just to see how they end it. There is no way I could turn back. It's the same thing as Superfan Carlos said. I'm not happy with it, but I'll be there Sunday night because I just want to see what happens. But you're not
I guess.
excited about it. But it's not like I invested 7 seasons and then I'm going to be like, well, I don't really care who wins. Well, I do care who wins. I'm just not happy about the setup at this point. So I don't know if that's fair. The tuning out, I don't think it's fair for the people who were diehard fans from the beginning. Is there another method?
Well, I guess you could
Outside of,
write troll letters on the internet and tweet, nasty things on Twitter, I
I
suppose.
find that to be quite effective.
I mean, I guess if you want to dwell on hate and bitterness, I guess you could just wallow in it on, we hate GameofThrones.com, I suppose.
Listen, your passive protesting doesn't work. The tuning out is not going to work because you had other people tuning in. You had 44, whatever else it is. You had more people coming in because it was an event.
All I'm
People are
saying, all I'm
there.
saying is it really seems to draw focus to the negative, and people experience bad things and have bad times trying to enjoy something, and instead of just cutting their losses and moving on to something else that they enjoy more, they just wallow in their unenjoyment of this thing. Then I just don't understand why the wallowing. That's what I understand. It's like, it seems like if you really are that upset with something, you have every right for your feelings and stuff. But why not just say, I'm done giving this topic, this issue, this thing that's driving me nuts, time and attention that I could be giving something that I get enjoyment out of.
I'm going to put it like you. I'm Kathy Bates from Misery. Okay.
Okay.
And Benoff and Weiss, if they were somehow crashed their vehicle on a snow embankment, I would drag them to my place and I would hobble them and make them rewrite the story to where it made sense and that they followed the rules that they originally set along with Martin at the beginning of the seasons. Yes, it's that brand of
Okay.
race right there.
All right. For me, like when Buffy season 6 and 7 went south for me, it wasn't like I sat down at my typewriter and was like writing like horrible hate letters to Joss Whedon going, how did you fuck the show up? You had a great start to the 5 seasons of the show that I enjoyed, blah, 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 blah. Of course, at the time, but Buffy left the air, there was no Twitter or Instagram or whatever that you can go on now.
No, wait a second here. Let's put it in perspective. When the Buffy what season 6 was it 5 or 6? It was 6 for
It
you.
was 6 and 7.
6 and 7. Now, it wasn't as good, but I don't think you hated those seasons. You didn't walk away and say this is completely not what Buffy is about or it goes contrary to everything that we've started. I don't think it was that for you. You just lost interest, the storylines or
Right.
whatever else. I think that's completely different than somehow like taking Glee, your show, and then by the 4th season of Glee, they start like chopping off heads and severing fingers or something. Okay, you'd be like, this is not Glee. This is completely the opposite of why I started watching Glee. It's a fundamental thing. It's fundamentally just something's completely irregular about it. Not that it's just not as good, like lukewarm. It's like cold eggs.
Mm-hmm. Hello?
Aren't you passionate about certain shows?
Of
Have
course
you
I
ever
am.
have you ever had a which have you ever written someone over the higher ups to sit there and say, by the way, I'm a big fan, but I have to write you to say I don't like the direction or I'm not happy about this?
No, what I usually do if I get unhappy enough about it, which is not to say I don't get unhappy. If I do, what I do is go, I think we're done with that show. And I look at my husband, he's like, yeah, we're done. And then we just move on. That's what we do.
Listen, that's not how it
Like,
works, people. People got to lose jobs over shit, okay? You got to teach lessons. This is how we teach lessons in 2019. We sit there
Right.
and we troll them, and then we chase them out of the industry. Have you not been
Right.
watching Me Too? This is how we roll.
Right. Kill the beast. Burn down the bridges. Get the flaming torches and like chop off with their heads. When you could really just be like, you know what? I really like The Wire better, so I'm just gonna go back and rewatch that instead of like concentrating on the hate that I have for the show that you fucking made me sit here and watch.
I'm rewatching The Shield. I'm rewatching The Shield right now. Is it wrong for
Don't you
me to sit
find
there?
it a more enjoyable experience than hate watching Game of Thrones?
I do. I'm no longer hate watching, but now what am I supposed to do? See, these creators move on to other projects, i.e., Star Wars coming up. We can segue
Right.
into that.
Right.
So, what am I supposed to think here, Bill? If you wanted me to turn off Game of Thrones and be like, you know what? I am not happy with this. I'm going to turn this show off. I'm not even going to watch the after the talk after the show for the
Right.
highlights and the writer's direction. I'm just going to turn on the Shield, something that I do enjoy. And then all of a sudden it comes across my news feed. Benoff and Weiss of Game of Thrones fans of fame and record-breaking season on HBO are now going to be heading up Knights of the Old Republic over at Star Wars. What am I supposed to think at that point?
You're
Am I supposed to
supposed
be
to
jumping up in
decide.
joy? Am I going to be jumping up for joy now?
You're supposed to decide whether you want to give them a second chance or not. Whether you want to see their property manipulation of Star Wars or whatever other thing that they would do, or whether you've been so burned by them that they could write, War and Peace or The Second Coming of Jesus Christ, and you still wouldn't watch. You have to decide.
I'm willing to give everybody a second chance, but I need them to know what they did wrong.
I don't know if telling them that their show sucks is really the most constructive way to let them know that you were displeased with their content. I just don't know if that's really positive feedback.
Yeah. You know what some of these directors are? They're like Ryan Johnson, the rest of them. They're like you a little bit. Okay, that's like somebody writing our show right now and going like, that Bill sounds like an idiot. Okay, his takes
Right.
are terrible. You'd be like this. You know what? Don't worry about it. I think my shit is gold. If you don't like it, you can listen to another podcast. Okay,
Right.
Movies Are Us is right just down the line. Go pull them up. That's
Right.
what you would
And
say.
at the
You
same
wouldn't care.
time,
You would not care about that.
and at the same time, our numbers would be going through the roof, where we would have like 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 listeners a week for, the content that we're providing. But okay, people are not happy with it, but if they're listening, there must be something right.
I
That's
disagree.
the message I would get. That's all I'm saying.
It's because we're addicted and we have to. We want to complete stories. That's part of the DNA. It's part of the DNA. I mean, I think you're a special brand of uniqueness there, but I mean, you can maybe shut it off. But I mean,
I'm not even saying that you have to. I'm just saying, come on. If you're that unhappy with something and you really feel like it's beneath your standard levels, then why beat your head up against a brick wall? Because they're not gonna change because you don't like it. Just go like something else. That's all I'm saying. It just seems like a futile effort to me and
See, this is why
wasted
people.
energy.
See, I watch enough of Snapped, and this is why people get murdered. You're like, why don't you just get a divorce? No. I have to teach that bitch a lesson. Okay, that's exactly what happened.
what I'm saying. Right. Right.
All right, so Benoff and Weiss are headed over to Disney, and do we have official confirmation of the story or the universe that they're creating over there?
We do not. All we know is that officially they are next up to bat after the Rise of Skywalker. So that's all we know is that they're next, and then Ryan Johnson's trilogy is next after that.
So there's no storyline Knights of the Old Republic coming.
That's the other rumor, is that there is a Knights of the Old Republic script or some type of development going on over there, but there's no confirmation that it's what Benioff and Weiss are working on or what Ryan Johnson's working on. It seems to be unrelated to either one of those at this point.
For the fans out there, I'm gonna read the synopsis of what the Knights of the Old Republic. I believe it was a video game, and I remember kind of playing a little bit on my old ass like Commodore computer or whatever else I had back then. It's the story of the Knights of the Old Republic takes place almost 4,000 years before the formation of the Galactic Empire, where Darth Malak, a Dark Lord of the Sith, has unleashed a Sith armada against the Republic. The player character as a Jedi must venture into different planets in the galaxy in order to defeat Malak. Players choose from 3 character classes, blah, 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 blah. That's sort of the story.
You lost me at 4,000 years before the current episode of Star Wars.
You will be calling me up on the phone 3 weeks, the day that the tickets drop, and be like, the tickets are open. I like to buy them now for us to be there. Okay. You'll be there wearing a Darth Malak
I'm not
t-shirt.
saying I won't be there. I'm saying 4,000 years in the past seems that it could be completely unrelated to anything we know of Star Wars except the name. The world could be totally unrecognizable that they want to tell. I just don't. I mean, the concept of good and evil, I guess, is all that would really necessarily be left to be there. And okay,
Maybe there might
I'm
be
not
good writing and good acting in this world.
okay. All right, all
Good
right.
directing.
If it's Star Wars, I'm going to be there. But I just don't. I'm not super happy with them ending the whole Skywalker storyline. Anyway, I understand it needs to happen. I know that they need to make way for fresh stories and fresh ideas, because obviously Solo taught them a lesson that you can't always keep going back to the well. I get why they need to do it. I'm just not a particular fan of losing everything I know to be Star Wars in the name of continuing a story that has the word star and the word wars in it. That's all.
Maybe they could get a new family, sort of like the Blackish family for Star Wars. You like that?
Blackish versus the Cosbys, really. You know. Ah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I guess I'm cautiously awaiting some confirmation that it's going to be good.
There was
I
some,
now, that being said, I've enjoyed every era of live action Disney story that they've given me since the company took over Star Wars. I have no reason to believe, therefore, that they're not going to continue giving me something of good ilk that I'm going to enjoy as a Star Wars fan.
didn't you give me some other Star Wars news that Kathleen Kennedy said something? What was it?
Kathleen Kennedy did say something. There's a big Vanity Fair article this week. I don't know if you read it. I have not read it fully myself yet. I'm still kind of in the middle of the article. It's a very long article. But Kathy said that she realizes that they cannot do the Marvel mold of releasing characters and movies unrelated to each other, and characters that are somewhat obscure in the Star Wars realm. They think that they need to do something more relevant to the world that we know of as Star Wars, which is good rhetoric. Let's just see if she can make that come true. I'm at least glad that they're not just trying to do the Marvel mold by just pumping stuff out. And I'm not saying that Marvel just pumps stuff out. I'm saying their stuff that they release is not well known a lot of times ahead of time. And, it's not necessarily the popular characters that they're doing. They sort of do like the B and C characters a lot. And it's led to success for them. So I just don't know that mold would work for Star Wars. So I'm glad that she
Yeah.
gets.
Well, I guess you take some lumps. Well, it's always interesting. At least you take some lumps, which is my whole point, and that you learn from it, and that you try to change it around instead of just trying to keep doing what you're doing and saying screw the fans. A couple questions, Bill. I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
Really? You're just going to ask me a question. What happened to it?
I've got too many screens up. I'm looking at Superfan Nadia's email, and my mind's going in several different directions here. Ryan Johnson. what's the status with him then?
We don't know. All we know is that he's been announced as the writer of a trilogy of stories or director of a trilogy, but we don't know what those stories entail, or we don't know what period it's going to be in. We don't know anything.
Oh, I know what I was.
Virtually,
I know what I was going to ask you because I was sitting here thinking, and we were talking off the air, and listening to myself, I sound like you referred a term I've never heard before, except out of an Eminem song. A stan. What is a stan? STAN.
a stan is a combination of stalker and fan. They're like the rabid internet fans on like the internet who, like, for example, there are soap opera stans that like are like super passionate about one particular couple featured on that show. And if the
Okay.
writers or directors or any direction of the show seems to not favor that couple for any period of time, the stalker fans go like rabid and start tweeting negative things about other couples on the show or about the people who are doing the show just because they're not pleased about what direction their particular stan couple is going in. So this happens for all kinds of things, movies, sports, I'm sure.
Has
There
this
are
term been around a long time?
I think it's relatively new, but probably with the Twitter age it's come around.
Hmm, okay. Any other Star Wars news before I move on? I mean, I see that they put out a map of that whole Disney World Galaxy's Edge. Did you see the map of how it's their little
I did
world is
not
set up there?
see the map, but I read a large article about like the stuff that's in it and how the way they're going about doing it.
Uh,
It
Anything you
sounds
can
very
share
interesting.
or anything that comes to mind?
I mean, it sounds like a completely immersive experience where you go and get to spend like 4 hours in this park inside a park in which there's it's like being living a life, a virtual reality world of a Star Wars fan or a Star Wars citizen in the galaxy or whatever. Um, you go, there's themed restaurants, there's themed cocktails and drinks, and the hotels and stuff are themed. There's an actual Millennium Falcon in there, like a life-size Millennium Falcon that you can get on and like ride. The problem
Yeah,
is, of course, it's like Harry Potter land, or what do you call it, Hogwarts or whatever
yeah.
land
You
in
know,
Universal.
just listening to this now, we're just a step away. We're edging closer to Westworld, a a fully immersive world with automatons where you can go in and dress up and play a part. Are you interested in a world like that?
I'm
A
interested
park,
in,
an amusement park of going there and
yeah,
being like, "You shall be Bill the Hill, and your job will be to steal the Death Star plans along with your crew." I
I
mean,
am interested in that as a Star Wars fan. I think it would be cool. What I'm not interested in is getting into like a line queue that's like 6 hours long before I can get on the ride. Yeah, I'm not doing that. So I probably wait a year or two before even considering going to that because the crowds would hopefully die down just a little bit.
okay, I think this is our next stock option. We'll probably be long dead and gone by then, but I think the Westworld when that comes up, it's like Jurassic Park, I think, but a little bit
Right.
more. That's what you want. I mean, if you're going to Galaxy Edge along with the Harry Potter, you want the experience of being like I'm in the story with all these cool characters. Well, why don't you just have the world like that where you could actually, it's like make your own adventure. You can go in and do stuff. Of course, the problem is that you're going to go into this world and then start doing some nefarious shit like punching the bartender in the face and do things you're not supposed to do, and you're going to be like, I'm in a different world. There would have to be a whole bunch of, I don't know, rules and regulations, but
Security.
whatever. Yeah, I'm
Security.
not sure how it all would work, but it seems kind of interesting.
You
The
can go and
Westworld,
build your own lightsaber that costs you $200, but you can go in like a shop in there and like put your whole lightsaber together, and that's kind of cool.
sure, sure, but wouldn't you like to go into a world where your lightsaber actually has some electricity, you could cut down some people with it?
I don't know if I need that. Seems a little bit much. Seems maybe a bridge too far
I would be
from
Darth Payne. That's how I
it.
would enter the world. I'd be with Darth Payne. I'd just be
Yeah.
like, yeah. Darth Payne makes his own
So
rules. So did you see the Westworld trailer dropped? It stars Aaron Paul. Aaron
I
Paul's
did
and
not. I did not.
so
I saw a still from it. He was sitting on like a girder with like a robot.
robot superfan Carlos called me up on the phone and goes, after my Game of Thrones experience, he goes, I just don't even know if I can give this shit a try. Aaron Paul, Westworld. See, this is the
Was
problem,
he
Phil.
not in Westworld before?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
It's a Nolan thing. You know how he is with Nolans. You
Okay.
know, he's on their jock. Anytime they want to start talking like the time warps and dimensions, he's all there doing the deep dive.
Right.
Um, but he's a little bit jaded. He saw Aaron Paul. He's just like, I don't know, unless this is somehow Breaking Bad, I don't know if I want to go down this hole. But um, anyway, I
Are
digress.
you gonna watch Westworld season 3? Didn't you watch the first 2 seasons?
Yeah, I did. I'm going to go. I started to lose interest because it's starting to get into the where you get into the gobbledygook. Once again, it gets into too much of the mystery and you're being too cute. Like Bill, sometimes time is time and time is relevant and time spins around, but where it lands, nobody knows, Bill. I'm like, oh, we're talking in riddles yet again. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Maybe we
So it
should.
took you 2 seasons of this show to figure out that you don't really like it that much, and you're still coming back for more.
Well, it's because they laid down some tracks and some mysteries that I wanted to see them wrap up. It's the same reason why I stuck with Lost. I wanted to see how they were going to stick the landing, especially when you tell me that it's going to be ending. It's not like Walking Dead. I mean, if you had told me that after the season I was ready to give up that they were going to end it the next year, I might have stuck by just to see how they are going to close the loop. And with Lost, even though it was losing it for me, I just wanted to see how they would close it. How were they going to be able to stick the landing and pull it all together and explain some things that had me interested from the beginning.
See,
So
I just find that the whole concept just ridiculous. I would watch it just to see if they stick the landing. I don't understand that. Like when Agents of Shield jumped the shark for me, I'm out. I'm out. I'm not sticking around to see what they do with it. They've already gotten to a point where I'm not interested in it anymore.
yeah, that way.
So I gotta go.
Is this season 5?
This is season 6.
Season 6, and they said they were going to at least do season 6 and season 7, right?
Yeah.
Now, what in another 2 months? This is season 6. For season 7, they're going to say they're going to bring back Coulson. Is Coulson still in, or is he gone?
Well, he has a doppelganger.
Okay, all right. They're going to bring back the real Coulson, and then they're going to have Chris Hemsworth show up as Thor, and um, they're going to find some sort of Thanos remnants in season 7. They're going to start to do some things like bring in the movie universe into it.
If they do that, which they're not going to do, if they did that, that would be a different story. That would be me possibly jumping back on the track because they're offering me something fucking relevant, which they have not done in 5 years. So then why am I sticking around? I stuck around for 5 years. They've gotten enough of my life. They're not getting any more.
Okay. So superfan Nadia writes in her email that she's seen a couple things. I'm just going to hit some of the highlights and we'll move on. If you have a comment, feel free to give it, Bill. She finally saw Aquaman. She said it was good enough.
Okay. Does that mean acceptable?
It
I guess
was
it's
good enough.
acceptable.
That's
Okay.
her line.
All right.
She also saw Coco. She said it was a cute movie. You know how you feel about those Mexican movies, Built the Wall. That's where that isn't what you always say on the phone.
And how did you feel about Coco J?
Well, she thought it was cute. You know how I felt about it. I did not like Coco because it was a lot of singing. There was a lot of singing, and I
Wasn't
just
there was no other aspect to why you didn't like it? It was just the singing, or was it
I'm not.
singing?
I don't
Oh,
call. I call you out. Don't call me out.
I'm just. I mean, if you're gonna call out people, let's play. That's all I'm saying.
I didn't like Coco because I don't. I don't. I have trouble with musicals. So,
It wasn't that much singing. There was some singing, but it wasn't a musical.
well, Nadia did right. Even though it did not have singing like a standard music was a very key to the story. I'm not a fan
Yeah,
of Coco. She also saw The Silence on Netflix. She says it appears that it was a retread of A Quiet Place, which she never saw. I'm sorry, maybe a ripoff of A Quiet
Uh,
Place and a Bird Box. I would have to agree with her on that. And she also goes on to say that Netflix original movies are not that good.
well,
If you
that's
guys
good to know.
if you guys come across a good one, please let me know. Here you all my husband clicked on one the other day that reminded me of one of those old cheesy science fiction movies, but it was set in modern times. All I will say is all the aliens wore costumes that looked like Power Ranger costumes. I probably saw that movie, whatever she's referring to. I think I know what she's talking about. Netflix does put out a lot of stuff as we always talk about, but I think that's the beauty of it. I think that's the joy in it. It's a higher form of mindless entertainment.
It's quantity over quality, and you're perfectly fine with that.
No, 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 no. See, the difference is I would be very upset, like if I went to the theater and there's a movie that I just saw on Amazon Prime called The Hostel. And when I first saw the trailer of it, it seemed like a couple years ago, I was like, this movie looks interesting. This lady's trapped and there's this creature that looks kind of weird. I'm like, I can't, and I couldn't find it on DVD, and I forgot all about it. And then it popped up on Amazon Prime. And before I got out of the bed, I actually just turned it on and watched it because it was only like an hour and a half. It was terrible, Bill. Like the trailer showed the best 2 minutes of the movie. The rest of it was crap. And I go, if I would have went to the theater and paid for this or something else, I would be mad. But the fact that it was free, I don't feel as
It's not free. It's not free.
well. It feels free because I'm only paying $33 under our family Amazon Prime. What?
Right. Quantity over quality, just like I said. As long as they pump you out 47 pieces of shit versus one piece of shit that you have to get up, get dressed, go out of your house, and then sit down and watch, you're perfectly happy. Doesn't mean it's not a piece of shit. It's just that there's so much shit that you're happy that you're getting so much shit. This is the Netflix business model, and this is why it works.
Mhm.
Because
Okay.
most people are like you. They want options. They don't care whether the options are good or bad. They just want a lot of options. And that's what they get with Netflix.
Okay. She also comments that she saw War Games on Sling the other day. She thought it was pretty good. Do you remember War Games?
Shall we play a game? Yeah. When me and my husband get into fights, it's like DEFCON 5. So I get it. Yeah. So I remember War Games fondly. Did
You
you
know,
ever try to do that public telephone thing with the bottle cap, the pull tab from a soda can, and try to like hotwire a public phone before there was no public phones? I
no.
did like I probably did that 10 times. Tried to hotwire a public phone based on that movie.
Oh, that shows the criminal black in you. Sure, I got it. Did it work? Did it work?
It did not. It never worked. But I didn't stop trying.
Were you
So
trying to get free phone calls? Was that the whole idea to
yeah,
get phone calls?
yeah, or make free long distance calls, which you can do now, but then it was
Did
a
you
big deal.
call my house when we were younger collect sometimes?
I don't know.
Because that was a
Maybe.
thing back in the day. People would call like, this is a collect call or whatever else like that.
Yeah, do you remember me calling your house collect? That's rich. You don't remember shit that happened for the last 20 fucking years, but you remember me calling your house in like 1987. Really?
Will you
That's rich.
collect call from Bill? Will you accept these charges? No.
I think we did. We have a thing where I would call and you would not accept the charges, and then that would be like your signal for your mom to come pick me up or something.
I don't know. I can't think because I think maybe there might have been something like you would have to say, "What is your name?" Bill. It's an emergency.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
I don't.
I
That
believe that's one of the things you
you remember
remember.
collect calling? Well, I remember collect
Oh
calling.
yeah, I remember collect calling because that's what you had to do back in the day.
When's the last time you saw a payphone? Do they even have payphones?
They don't have payphones anymore.
They don't?
No. Have you seen a payphone lately?
I was gonna invest because at a time, apparently, I heard you can invest in like owning a payphone. Like you could like have a
Well,
payphone
that would have been a bust, wouldn't it? That would not have ended up well.
Yeah. You could have had the payphone by Church's Chicken, and whenever somebody came in and put a quarter, you'd be able to get a percentage off of that. Well, yes, yeah.
Church's Chicken. That's another thing that's long gone, like the dinosaur.
Church's is not around.
Have you seen one? Think about it.
Well, back in 1997, I remember the whole summer all I did was eat Church's Chicken.
1997 was 20 years ago.
I know. Okay. Have you had Popeyes yet?
I have not. We had a Popeyes around here, and they closed because it was just too ethnic for the people in my area. They just couldn't handle it.
This is how it
So,
starts. We're going to put forth some sort of legislation that says no Popeyes or any other minority type of food things over here too.
I mean, as minority as like minority food, soul food, or whatever goes, the closest we've got around here is KFC.
Well, you
So,
got some ribs over there. Can we consider ribs as
oh,
that
it's
ethnic
city
food?
barbecue, but it's really not that great. It's not like black people ribs.
Yeah, over here where I live, Bill, Hellmouth adjacent, it's like the only thing they allow in here that's ethnic, besides a few Chinese restaurant, is Panda Express. Well, I guess that is Chinese food too, but I mean, there's nothing. We've got Wendy's, we got a whole bunch of burger places. Nothing really too ethnic.
Well, that's like I said, as close as it gets.
I know.
KFC for how you guys don't have a KFC?
No, we don't.
There you go.
KFC is further down the road. And by the way, when you go into KFC, what I've noticed is they all seem to have the same level of workers. They all look like they're rough. They're rough, and
That's funny because I go to KFC for lunch sometimes, maybe a couple times a week, and the one by my job, the lady who works the window. Now, why they put these people on the front, I don't know, but she's really rough. Like no teeth, fingernails are looking kind of haggard. Yeah, but she's also very nice and pleasant and offers me extra
oh,
stuff. So,
see,
but,
that helps out. Then can't judge a book by its cover. You
well,
know.
I don't know if you necessarily want to get. Anyway, I'm not going to say anything else mean because that's just not nice.
Here's a tidbit for our young listeners who are still working in the food service industry. When I walk into a food service place and I'm standing at the counter and you're in the back talking with your friends, and then you lean around and then look at me and see me up there and then continue your conversation instead of waiting on me, that's problem one. And then when you approach the counter, the first thing you shouldn't say to me is just look at me and then wait for me to say something. You should probably say hello.
I mean, you should probably just stick to Chipotle. That's college kids, and those kids probably maybe have a little more common sense.
I went to that Chipotle down where my sister used to, one of her old spots where she used to live. And she
Yeah.
said, "You really went there?" She goes, "That's not a good Chipotle to go to." And I knew that because as I was walking in, it said something about like no firearms or something else etched in the glass. And it had security inside of the place. I've never seen a Chipotle with
Security,
security or etch. I was like, Really? What's happening over here?"
right? Did you eat the food?
Hell yes. I'm thinking about getting Chipotle tonight.
Okay.
So she wrote on this War Games before we move on. She said she was watching it. She was funny watching it because I kept wondering what Matthew Broderick's dad, his mom worked for Century 21, did for a living for him to be able to have his own computer and phone line for the internet.
Well, right, because back then it would have been a big deal, right?
That would have been a huge deal. You're right. Um, she has not seen Shazam yet,
Oh,
but
good
she
for her.
wants to know how Aladdin holds up in live action format.
Well, I can tell her tomorrow. I can't tell her today because we had a postponement. We were supposed to go yesterday, and my husband got an overtime work shift, so he's been at
Oh,
work
he
for
can't turn
2 days.
down that money. That's big money for that man.
So tomorrow we're gonna go see it at 1:15.
Is Big Daddy going to be buying since he got the OT?
Damn straight.
I like it. I like it. So
So I'll have
apparently,
to work tomorrow.
are you? I mean, I can see this on the news feeds or whatever else, but it looks like there's some positive feedback coming for Aladdin.
I've
Generally speaking,
heard I've heard good things. Um,
Does
You
that
know,
make you, not that that's going to stop you anyway or whatever else, but do you feel good about that? Do you not care? You'll be the judge of that?
um,
What,
I feel better about it than I would if it didn't get decent reviews. So yeah, because I mean, for a while there, honestly, I kind of started thinking the trailers were making it look like train wrecky. Um, because Will Smith is over the top and the songs just don't seem all that lively. But to hear that people are enjoying it makes me feel better about it. So I mean, I would have seen it regardless, but now it doesn't necessarily have the stench of death on it, which is a plus.
I look forward to looking at Box Office Mojo and see where it stands.
Yeah, I do
Um,
too. I might
so
go
let
ahead and
me
get that.
ask you, did you see the article where they were talking about what's her name, Princess Jasmine, and how they changed things from the live action animated from the animated to the live action where she doesn't show off her midriff and stuff like that. Did you see that article? Did it catch your
I
attention?
did see that. Yes.
Did you have an opinion on that? Like they were just sitting there going, like you're not going to have a live action Princess Jasmine run around essentially in a sports bra
Well, the
and
bigger
stuff.
deal for me was that they were saying, and I didn't know this, but apparently Aladdin is considered like one of the hot Disney cartoon character guys, which I didn't really realize. But he only wears a vest in the animated movie. He doesn't really have a shirt, which I guess I had forgotten
Right,
about. And
right.
in the new one, they have him fully clothed, and they said they didn't. That it works in an animated show, but you don't necessarily want people oogling some poor guy running through. I mean, a show basically shirtless the whole movie. So, I mean, I guess changing times or whatever, but it doesn't really. It wouldn't really affect me if Aladdin. I mean, I wouldn't throw him out of bed for eating crackers. He's kind of cute.
Isn't he only
So,
like 14? Okay,
no,
pardon.
he's not 14. Aladdin in the movie, the live action movie, he's like 30.
Here, I have to share a story with you, Bill. When you speak of vest, I remember back in college, went to Pittsburgh, and I was hanging out with one of my college buddies, and we're going to a club. And at the time, I remember that the fashion thing was wearing vest, and so I
Okay.
wore a vest with no shirt underneath, no t-shirt, just like a vest.
Okay.
And I had like a collection of like three of them. And so I walked into the club wearing this vest. And I remember as I was walking around cruising, I ran into another guy who was wearing the same vest as I was.
Mhm.
It really threw me though. It threw me off the whole night after that. It threw me off that somebody else was wearing the same gear that I was wearing. I couldn't function the rest of the night.
Really?
Yeah, you ever walk up into a club and somebody's wearing your outfit?
Well, first of all, no. um, second of all, you just own that space, and therefore the other person has to move. You don't move. You stand there like a tree and plant yourself.
Yeah, it's spoken like a true pimp that you were. Okay, so Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse drops on Netflix on June 26th. Um,
I guess you'll be happy about that.
yeah, Superfan Carlos is a big fan of it. Superfan Nadia, you not so much.
No, not much.
All right, and so she wanted to know, has anybody watched Doom Patrol yet? She heard that it was pretty good.
I have not, and I
And
still have my subscription to DC Universe that I'm just throwing $8 a month away on
ooh,
because I
that means I
don't
still have
need
that subscription too, then, right?
probably.
I guess I could
Uh,
throw on Doom Patrol.
well, yeah. I mean, why not?
She
I mean,
probably doesn't want my opinion on it because I'm going to be very harsh on it.
aren't you about to get ready to watch The Boys anyway? Doesn't that start soon for you?
Oh, does it? Oh
I
God!
think so.
Anything to wash out this Game of Thrones nonsense.
Really. And
It's
if you
really
call me up and are like, "This show is so unique and original," so Jay, what's it? Why is it so unique and original? Oh, they actually made this girl give the one superhero a blowjob. I'm just gonna hang up the phone. I'm telling you right now.
oh, okay.
I can't.
Um, that reminds me, we're watching. My girl and I, we are watching Chernobyl on HBO right now. We watched all three episodes. I think the fourth episode drops tomorrow.
Okay. Is this
Uh,
a drama or a documentary?
it's a drama. obviously
Okay.
based on the historical event, and it's kind of gory. Here's the key: no radioactive exposure. Okay, because that seems like a horrible way to go. Horrible way to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. You think
Um, but anyway, it's good. It's good.
it's good enough to keep watching it? Apparently.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's kind of hard to find shows that where both your interests align and that you both want to sit down and watch it. So now, as you said, I just seem to be a whore. I can practically watch about anything you put on the television. I have few limits. Um,
Dr. Pimple Popper cannot sustain a television viewing habit all on her own. She needs help. You can't. TLC is just one network. They can't just give you all everything you want.
I mean, there's not much you can turn on that I can't sit and enjoy. Now, what I don't, I really can't do network television though. I can't really do the ABC, CBS crap.
You did The Passage. That was network. That was Fox.
I did do that, but that had some sort of vampire. There was a skewed. It was a there's a 2% window, 2% chance that I might like that show or give it a chance. But
Okay.
if you throw it on and my woman wants to watch something on ABC, it's probably going to be a no for me.
Okay.
So, I mean, I can do Jeopardy, but outside of that, I don't know. I do Dateline. Doesn't Dateline come on like ABC or CBS?
See, NBC.
NBC. I do Dateline. We do a lot of Dateline in this house. Anyway, let's move on, Bill. Did you see that there was a couple trailers that dropped? I'm looking at my list. There was a couple trailers. Where is it at?
Terminator.
Terminator Dark Fate.
Dark Fate. Right.
This is produced by James Cameron and it's directed by Tim Miller of Deadpool fame.
Right.
Did you see it?
I did.
What did you think of it?
I wasn't really incredibly impressed with it, to be honest with you. I kind of felt like it looked like we've seen this movie in 1992. It was called Terminator 2.
It- it's interesting you would say that because that's exactly what's the word? I like to use some of your words. I'm going to use your statement, I which
Necessary.
is this movie necessary? And
Right.
it's not really giving me something that I felt that was like when I watched the Terminator and then when Terminator 2 came out, it seemed like that was a complete pushing the story forward and an advancement and adding something new. Alien to Aliens, I felt the same way. Um, Based on a 2-minute trailer, it just seemed kind of the same thing. Um,
It feels like
and it's supposed
uh,
to be taking place right after Terminator 2. Am I correct? They're just going to throw all the other Terminator movies to the side and say this is the true sequel.
right, but Linda Hamilton's aged about 30 years. So has Arnold Schwarzenegger. So how it could be the next day is beyond me.
Yeah, Linda Hamilton's looking rough, man. RUFF. I mean, she's trying to
So
own it to be like, she's going to be like proud of her age and all that stuff like that. But, you know, why she was
or
sleeping in the trailer, they could have just ran in and like shot some Botox in her face, maybe one
or
or two
was
times.
it was Judgment Day? I haven't seen that movie in so long. I can't even really speak to it. But Judgment Day was what they were trying to prevent in Terminator 2. And was Judgment Day several decades in advance? So then maybe in real time, this could be the day after the actual Judgment Day of Judgment Day from then was like 20 years from then. You know what I mean?
No, because when the Terminator came back, they got Linda Hamilton out, and then they were fighting that T-1000 or whatever it is, right with Robert Patrick, and then
Right?
once they defeated him by dropping the whatever is it, the cryo
If you
freeze
dropped him
on
into
it.
like a hot vat or something, right?
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think he got on the crane, a la Aliens 3, and lowered
Lowered
himself
himself in
down.
there.
Yeah, and killed. Yeah, so that was the whole how it ended, right?
I'll have to go back and watch it. I
So if
haven't
we're
seen it.
picking up right after that, what type of
Oh,
time
we're
would
picking up
that?
after. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I have to go back and watch it again. I'm all lost. I'm all confused.
And the interesting thing is they've got this woman power going on with Linda Hamilton and then this other blonde girl. She looks androgynous to me. It's a weird look, and not in a way that's like pleasing on my eye. It just looks
Are you trying
weird.
to say the girl's unattractive? Is that what you're saying?
I don't want to say unattractive, but I'm just saying it's like we were watching the news last night. Uh, And Chris looked at me. She goes, "Is there something wrong with this newscaster's eyes? I think they're too close together." And I looked, and I'm like, "His eyes are too close together. You're right. It's something symmetrically off." And so my point is, I'm not saying that she's ugly or hideous or something weird about her being a little bit more butch. It's just that there's something that causes me to pause and try to figure out, like where I kind of like my dog looks at me, like I kind of put my head to the side and go, "What's going on here?" And I'm trying to
I'm not
figure it
going
out.
to condemn the movie because the girl's not that pretty. I will say that the movie
I,
trailer did not really seem that original or unique or different or to add anything that hasn't yet been seen in the Terminator universe. So, by
listen,
that
my
standard,
the
I'm not
sponsors
super
aren't
excited.
leaving me for my comment. I'm not saying I'm jettisoning the movie because of that. I'm just saying there's just some sort of weird casting things going on here. I'm not sure.
Okay.
So what's the draw here? Is James Cameron really have his finger on this, or are they just paying him money just to put his name at the top?
I mean, it seems to me like he's got more input into this one than he's had in other ones because he's talked about it. I've read interviews with him about it. I've heard stuff said by him about it that he, was sort of hands on with it. How much, I guess, we'll probably never really know. Um, the big draw, I think, for this is Linda Hamilton and her return to the franchise that she's walked away from for several films. I'm willing to give it a try. I just hope that, Gabriel Luna is not one of my favorite actors off of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., who played Ghost Rider. I wasn't thrilled with his performance there. I don't know that I would be thrilled with it here.
When you say thrill with his performance, are you saying there is an issue with his acting ability, or is it something else?
Uh, I would say he's not the most convincing actor I've ever seen in the world.
It's interesting.
So,
Well,
but I
maybe
mean, he's
he's
probably got
acting like
three
a
lines,
robot. He's supposed to be
right?
acting like a robot.
Right, so it might not be that difficult to pull off. I don't know. I just don't particularly find anything exciting about this trailer and this movie as a project totally as of yet, to
I
be honest.
think I think the Terminator franchise, as well as the um,
It's
Predator
kind of been watered
franchise.
down to the point it's too late. It's like they're trying to go back to a point in the story that was relevant to the world, our world, and I think that they've watered it down so much with half-ass sequels and subpar follow-ups that it's too late for them to stuff that genie back in the bottle.
Yes, right. Which hence, when you try to show up with Arnold Schwarzenegger at the end of the trailer, that would be like a big reveal if we didn't have four of the movies that had him in it afterwards.
Right.
It falls flat of, like, oh, Arnold's back. Well, he was back in a few other of those Terminator movies. This is not. It's interesting as if that's a big deal, but I think like the Predator franchise, same with Terminator here. I'm gonna go. I think they're trying to find some way to push the story forward and attract the original fans as well as new fans, and create a new storyline. And they're always struggling. The
Right. I
material is
think it's
rich.
actually too late for them. It's too late. I think that they've already watered it down to the point where it's too late.
Well, I think with these things, which they're trying to do with the Predator, I think it's almost like you have to jettison this whole Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton and try to hit it from a different direction. I think these franchises still have life in them. You just have to come from them from a different angle, because you've
And
had
what
it
angle?
several shots at trying to get this right. Now maybe Dark Fate turns it around, but at the end, that's still going to be an ending point. You know what I mean? Linda Hamilton, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're still going to have to find another direction for it to go. Um,
We'll
so
see. I just don't think that there's
an
enough
audience
gas
for it.
left in the tank of this story for them to pull off yet another
It, it,
movie
it
in
seemed
this.
like a sci-fi movie release to me, actually, when I saw it. That's what I was thinking. Like, when is
like
this coming on
Sci-Fi Network.
Sci-Fi? Yeah, is it going to come after Z Nation? Is it going to be after Z Nation? Maybe Night Flyers is going to be late at night. I mean, it has the name too, Dark Fate. That sounds like a cheesy Shutter movie for me. That's a $5 holler if I ever heard it. Here you go.
$5 hauler, really?
Before I get into Maleficent, well, here, let me before I roll into the other one, Maleficent. Did you see the Maleficent trailer with Angelina Jolie?
I don't, because I didn't. You know how what happened with the first
You
one
didn't
with
see the
me.
first one, so you didn't even pull up the second trailer.
No, if I'm not in your story from the beginning, I'm not going to be into it from the middle.
Oh, it's a
How I
whole
am.
just new world of crazy down there. It's just,
I mean, that's how it is.
I mean, as
I
a,
don't watch sequels if I'm not interested in the original movie. That's
I mean,
like an automatic discount for me.
see, this is why we can't have sponsor because you're just a hell of a co-host. You're just like this. I don't watch that program. I'm not watching that trailer. But Bill, this is going to be very popular with the people. Not popular
That's
with
fine.
me. I'm not reviewing it.
That's fine. Did you see the trailer? Did you like the trailer? We can talk about it. It just how happens I don't have much input on
Uh,
that particular issue.
I wasn't that impressed with it. I wasn't really
Well,
impressed
see,
with
there
the
you go.
first, but that doesn't say much. Here we go. Did you watch HBO's Dark Materials trailer?
I didn't because the first movie left a bad taste in my mouth, so I'm not gonna. I'm not around for the reboot.
Are you referring to the Golden Compass
I am.
with Nicole Kidman and
Yeah,
who else was in that? Nicole Kidman and James Bond. What's his name?
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig was in the first one, Golden Compass.
Yeah.
So the
Did
Dark
you watch the trailer?
Materials is doing what I think there's like three different books, the Golden Compass and a few other. They're kind of like throwing them all in there and trying to do this show.
Right.
Um, Let me be quite honest. I watched the trailer, and this is what I this was my determination at the end. I don't find the story to be that interesting. Um, I tried to go back and start watching the Golden Compass long ago because my nephew had said he had read the book, and I'm like, I want to kind of like it. It seems interesting. So I went and tried to watch it again, and then I'm like, I couldn't. Then I watched Dark Materials trailer, and I'm looking at it and going, it's something like Superfan Nadia said. I'll give it a shot. But I just don't find the story to be interesting. I think that's the end of the day. It's no Lord of the
So
Rings for me. No Lord of the
yeah,
Rings.
at
So
the end of the day, you just
it's no
don't get too.
Chronicles of Narnia. To be quite honest with you, it, it just does it. It's popular, but I just I can't get through it. No,
What's it going to be on? Is it on HBO?
HBO. Um,
Well, it doesn't HBO's street cred give you enough reason to try it because it's on HBO?
oh no, I'll try it. I
Okay.
think that's the whole idea that I will try it, but I think generally speaking, I don't think it'll be a problem with the direction or whatever you want to call it. It's just that I just don't think that the story is that interesting. Your souls live outside of your body as these creatures and whatever else with the girl. I just don't find it to be all that interesting. Um, so there you go. Here you go, Bill. This is right up your alley. I know you did see this. Well, wait, there's one more trailer. Wait, there's more.
Uh,
Did you watch the Batwoman trailer?
no.
Why didn't
I
you
mean,
watch the Batwoman trailer? It's
it's
all about female empowerment.
CW TV
Oh,
show network, which does not disqualify it automatically for me. More of a disqualifier for me is that it's from Greg Berlanti Studios, who I don't care for any of his other DC network shows. Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, So
the man can't try to do something different. You're just gonna keep pigeonholing him, huh? You're just
he
not.
can
He
try.
can't get a third or fourth chance.
Well, the fourth chance would have been Titans.
I mean, what if he did a Man
So
of Steel? What if he's doing a Man of Steel show?
I don't know why you have to go to the places that you know I can't resist. But at this point, Batwoman is not an appealing story to me. I'll wait. I'll wait for the Batman.
You know what? You should have watched the trailer because I can't. It seemed very heavy-handed with me with all the pushing forward with the whole that she's gay, and they put it out on Front Street and that it's time for a woman to take charge and I'm not sitting in the back seat. It gave a whole bunch of you know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch the show, so I'm not gonna watch the trailer.
I think who's the actress that plays Batwoman? What's her name?
I can't remember.
Is it Ruby Rose? Ruby
Yeah,
Red?
yeah, yeah. That's it. Ruby Rose.
I don't think she's very good in terms of acting. But I
Can I
like
ask why you watched the trailer? You know you were not gonna watch that show.
well
Even if
because
the trailer would have came out and hit it through the park, you wouldn't watch the show. It wouldn't. You wouldn't have.
sometimes I just need to have some laughter in my life, and I just want to pull it up and just
Okay.
take a chuckle or two as the people that are sitting there going, "This is what I went to Juilliard for to write this crap." All right, this is what's going on. It's bad. It's just bad. It's just bad. But somewhere,
I did
somewhere,
not
someplace
expect
like it.
anything else.
Well, speaking of the Batman, I hear we have a new one potentially coming. Do we know who it is?
Yeah. Well, the rumor is Robert Pattinson is a finalist, but
Of
also Nicholas
Twilight
Hoult
fame?
of X-Men fame. Say what?
Of Twilight fame? Robert
Of Twilight
Pattinson?
fame. Yes, Robert
Oh,
Pattinson of
oh,
Twilight
look at him. How you feel about that? You love some Twilight. You love those shirtless boys running around, vampires and
fame.
werewolves.
Lies. It's all lies. I'm still bitter. Speaking of people who won't let things go, about Ben Affleck. So I'm just gonna sit in my corner over here and stew for a minute about that.
You've been stewing ever since what's his name left too. What's his name? Who's Spider Man
Henry.
before
Oh, Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield?
Yeah, I have a preference. It's not Tom Holland. I mean, I'm not like
Oh, wait
bashing
a
my head
second.
against the wall over it.
I mean, let's be quite honest. If they were coming up with, I don't know, what if they would say that we're going to do Henry Cavill as the Batman?
Well, that would be stupid because he's already Superman. But
You might
okay,
be, you'd be like this. That's exactly right. You'd be like this. Okay.
there is one reason and one reason only I'm going to watch The Witcher. It's Henry Cavill.
Oh, you're going to watch The Witcher?
Yeah, it's Henry Cavill.
So that's something you want. I may have to up your Netflix money that you owe me. That charge you a few extra cents. You're going to be firing it up. So
Take it out of my Disney Plus membership that I'm going to be getting for you.
let's be quite honest with you. Okay, you have your preference. It's what you're saying is you don't find Robert Pattinson right now if he is so selected to be a worthy successor. Then that's where you're going with it.
I'm just
Is it
going to
based
say
on
I
his
don't.
looks? Is it based on his looks, or is it based on loyalty to Ben Affleck? What I
It's
mean,
based on loyalty to Ben Affleck. It's based on the fact that he looks too skinny to be a beefy Batman. Um, it's based on the fact that I've only seen him act in one thing, so I can't really speak to his acting ability outside of the single Twilight movie that I watched. And I'm not particularly fond of him in general. So
I've seen
all of the
Robert
time.
Pattinson. He's done that Shia LaBeouf type of turn where after Twilight he starts doing what's her name, Kristen Stewart. They start doing all these indie movies,
Right.
trying to work and prove to their fellow colleagues and to themselves that they can act instead of just doing blockbuster Transformers movies. Either way, I do feel as though I've seen Pattinson in a few other movies, and I find that his acting to be it's sufficient. I don't find anything to be deficient about it. In terms of my initial impression, I don't really see him as a Batman, but as I've learned from doing the show and over the years, just because my initial reaction is that way doesn't mean that the person can't act and somehow be directed and come across as a certain way. So I think I'm forced, based on history, to keep an open mind. But generally speaking, if you were to just tell me, my first reaction would be, I just don't see it. I also heard that Nicholas Holt might have been in a running for Batman, which, by the
Oh,
way, he plays Beast in X-Men out there. I forgot what other movies he's done.
Tolkien.
I think I is he Token?
Mhm.
he fits between the two. I might be more of a Nicholas Holt fan than Robert Pattinson fan, but
Really?
yeah, yeah,
For this part or in general?
for this part.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with Nicholas Holt. I mean, I don't have a problem with Pattinson either. I just, as with superheroes, the same thing. It's certain sometimes these people fit the roles or they don't. Um,
What keeps popping up on your computer?
that was an alert letting me know that Mike Mignola says Netflix Hellboy reboot rumors are false.
Well,
They're already
okay.
thinking about rebooting it, huh? The movie hasn't even hit DVD yet, but they're already
Right.
talking about it.
Well, because it hit or it failed DVD or
Yeah.
theatrically, so
I don't know how to turn that off, which is why the fans hear that blue on the side. It just keeps giving me
why don't
news
you type
updates.
in the start window how to turn off computer alert sounds?
Yeah, it seems too difficult. Maybe when you're over next time, you can come down here and mess around with it.
Oh my god. Okay.
I'm at that age. So when will we know? They kind of leaked this out. Were they doing a test
Well, the
balloon
movie's
to see
supposed
where
to
the
be
fans
starting
go?
to film. The movie's supposed to be starting to film, I think, this fall. So they're gonna have to cast it at some point, or at least announce a casting at some point. I'm sure they've already cast the part, but we just don't know it yet, which is
Mm.
fine. You know, you know how I am about DC these days. Don't
Yeah.
care. Don't care. That's what DC stands for in my house now. Don't care. That's where we're at.
You know what? I think I'm gonna call that our episode 89. I think that's appropriate. You know what, Bill? You're just you're a fucking genius right here. You know why? Because it's episode 89, which is the year of our graduation, and what for our 30th year reunion? Don't care.
Don't care. We're gonna give it the DC stamp of approval.
Ah, that's
Don't care.
perfect. Ah, that's perfect. Do it long enough, the titles of the show just come
They
forward.
just come to you, right?
Ah, I like it. I'm gonna write that down. Anyway, did you see that on television? They did the live action. What was it? Jefferson's Archie Bunker thing.
When I first, I'll be honest with you, when I first heard about it, I thought this is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Why are they going to air a live in the studio audience, basically repeat of a classic sitcom? I mean, it just seems like a weird, scraping the bottom of the barrel kind of money grab thing to me. Well, just in case it was any good, I taped it on Wednesday night and I went back and watched it. It was actually pretty good. I was kind of a fan of it, to be honest with you. And I wasn't even a fan of the original All in the Family show. But I kind of like the rebooting or the repurposing of it because it shows you how weak the writing of today's shows are compared to the writing of the show that happened 30, 40 years ago was like spot on. And it just showed like, the emperor has no clothes as far as TV goes anymore. I mean, how low they've sunk. I
You
enjoyed
know,
it.
um, I heard about it. I didn't really think about it too much until my Twitter was, a buzz with the news stories that were dropping that Jamie Foxx, forgot his line, and I remember
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part. Yeah.
pulling up in
Making
the
fun of
the
Yeah.
bed with Chris because I wanted to sit there and watch it, and so the scene comes out where he kind of whatever he flubs the
Loves a
line,
lot.
and I sat there and I go, "This is of interest to me." I didn't think the scene. Unfortunately, I could only see that 2 minute scene or whatever it was where the line mess up, and it was a scene where it was more, like emotional type of thing of whatever else in terms of for yucks and laughs, but
Right.
um is there a way for me to watch that? Is it on
There is. It's
Hulu
on
or
Hulu.
something?
It's on Hulu now. The whole
What would
thing.
it be under then? What's it under on Hulu then? What would it be
Type
the
in the Jeffersons, and that's where I
Okay.
found it.
Okay. I'm gonna pull that up because oddly enough, I didn't have a I don't think I was interested into it, but all of a sudden I'm like, I kinda am. And then there might be a new thing. I wasn't a big fan of All in the Family per se, but the Jeffersons, yeah, I
Oh,
grew
sure,
up with
classic.
Weezy. Yeah. And I don't
I watched
think
a
that
marathon of the
Jamie Foxx
Jeffersons
was
last
a good George Jefferson, but I want to watch it though. To be quite
night.
honest,
You should watch it. It's actually very good. and I was thinking it was not going to be good at all, and it really was. Marissa
So,
Tomei in particular was outstanding as Edith Bunker. I thought she was
so,
great.
so is this a one-off, or is there gonna,
It's a one-off. Now they might do different shows. Maybe they'll do Good Times or I don't know other shows, but I think this was like a one-off thing.
that's interesting. I wonder how it. Probably got it. I would assume it probably
It did
got
well.
feedback. Yeah.
It did well.
Okay. Um, there's some other stuff out here. What's going on with Rotten Tomatoes? It appears in order to fight the trolls, that Rotten Tomatoes is now going to require users to verify ticket purchase to impact audience score.
Why don't they
So,
just ban the trolls? I mean, I get verification, and I think that's a good move in the. It's a move in the right direction. But you're still going to be able to read the trolls, so the trolls are still going to be on there. They're just not. They're just going to be non-verified trolls.
all of them will be listed on Rotten Tomatoes, but only the verified ticket buyers will have a badge next to their reviews. So, if you're not
So you
reading,
can still see them. You just know better.
I have to agree with you, Bill. It's kind of cool that in a way of trying to solve an issue of people going, you know what, I don't like Captain Marvel and her haircut, so we're just going to flood the internet with this sucks, and just drive the score down. Um, as being something that I would say inherently unfair as a way of combating the system. But I think you're right. I just don't know why you just don't try to eliminate that altogether. What's this is not some sort of governmental program. Okay,
Wow.
well, what I mean by that, you don't have to really worry about fairness. It's Rotten Tomatoes. I don't have to give a voice to people I feel that are trying to just burn the world. Watch the world burn. Do you? No, you
Well,
can
I
sit
mean,
at the table.
the internet's the great equalizer, right? Everybody gets a voice at the table. Everybody gets a seat at the table. Everybody gets
No,
a voice.
I can tell you right now, if our show had 1 million viewers and 800,000 people say that Jay sucks, Payne sucks, I can tell you right now, I'd go in there and I'd go to the IT person. I'm like, I want to scrub all those 1 or 2 star things that I have next to my name. I'm going to scrub them all. Yeah, I would do that. You just scrub them all. And next thing you know, there'd be
Right.
nothing but 4 or 5 star reviews from there on out. That's what I would do.
Right. Well, I guess they're trying to give people the voice of their
They want to keep
feelings.
them
But you have to
engaged. They
be
want to keep them engaged and coming to their
right.
website.
The more users, I guess they feel like the better their platform, which I'm sure is the most.
That makes sense. It sounds like we got there. I don't. I guess it's better to have people coming and complaining and trying to do something on your website than being like, I can't, and then going someplace else.
Right.
Mm.
I like I said, I do think verifying people was a smart thing to do, and I think it's the right step in the right direction. I don't really use Rotten Tomatoes anyway. I just don't necessarily need the feedback of other people in general. If it's something I'm interested enough in to go see, I'm going to go see it anyway, regardless of what type of reviews it gets. That's how I always
I'm
felt.
not going to. I'm not going to read all of these to you because I know you don't care, but there was an article on the Business Insider of the 20 most popular movies from Netflix and other streaming services in 2019 so far.
Right?
The number one, Fry, The Greatest Party That Never Happened.
That's not
Have you seen
surprising.
that?
I have not seen that.
Um,
You
I,
guys watched that, didn't you?
oh yeah, I love that. What do you want to call it? Documentary. Number two, Bird Box.
Not really
Number
shocking.
three, Triple Frontier. Number four, Polar, with what's his name? I think it's Matt Mickelson in that. About an assassin. It's
Okay.
on Netflix. Not very good. And number five, 10 stars your boy who our new Captain America is.
Sebastian Stan.
Not so bad.
No.
No, what are you talking about? Anthony
Uh,
Mackie.
Anthony Mackie. I'm sorry.
He stars as a young scientist in search for no, as a young scientist searches for a way to save a dying Earth. She finds a connection with a man who's racing to catch the last shuttle off the planet, which is Anthony Mackie. I haven't watched 10 because I was just like, this just looks dumb to me. But apparently, it's found an audience.
Apparently.
So there you have it. Your top five. I'm not going to read the rest. But I've seen Roma's on there. Roma's in the top 10.
These are the
It's
top 10 viewings, obviously, the amount of viewers.
Yeah,
And
they list the number of viewers that have watched the show. I'm not sure how they calculated whatever else like that, but it's
did
like,
you watch all of these?
now there's a lot of things like the boy who harnessed the wind, who's what I think that's Chitwell's movie.
Okay.
Godzilla the Planet Eater, haven't watched. Um, to All the Boys I Loved Before, The Last Laugh.
No, they're top 5. How many of those did you watch out of the top 5?
I watched all of them except 10 with Anthony Mackie. So
You watched Roma?
I have not. That's in the top 10. I have not. Roma's in my queue, but that's right next to The Beast of No Nation and Schindler's List. So
Okay.
my heart's in the right place, Bill. I just don't know if I can get there. I'm trying
Apparently.
to. I just don't know if I can make it. Moving on. I'm going through my list here. Any word on James Gunn's Brightburn? Are you getting invested? Are you still not interested?
Well, we are going to see one movie this weekend, and Brightburn is opening weekend this week as well. It's not Brightburn.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
thought you were going to carry the torch for this movie.
I'm carrying it by sending positive thoughts its way. Is there any chance that
Really?
one of our movie weekends we can watch Brightburn?
Yeah, we could rent it if it's out by the time I get down there.
Okay. Did you watch the Toy Story 4 trailer?
No, because it's the final trailer, and I feel like we're close enough that I'd rather just wait for the movie.
Okay.
I've already
Um,
seen 2 trailers of it, so I don't need
so
3.
before I get you to, I'm going to do three more stories here,
Mhm.
very quickly. It looks like there's going to be a reboot of The Stand. I think it's coming to CBS All Access.
Oh, does
I
it have
forgot.
to? It just gives it a certain stench when it goes directly to. It's like the modern day equivalent of direct to video.
Really?
Kind of.
Where,
If it was so great, why wouldn't they put it on the main network? That's how I
well,
feel about
so are you saying that Twilight Zone, the reason why it's on CBS All Access is because it has a stench of death?
it. Well, you haven't watched an episode, so I guess you couldn't tell me. So, right? Am I right?
Listen, that's just because I'm cheap. Okay, that doesn't
Really? Okay.
money before hose, Bill. Okay,
Right.
whatever you want to call it. I listen. I guess if my
Oh,
desire
okay.
was that strong for it, if it was really great for me, I would pay for it. I just don't know if it seems great for me before I go out there and add another service.
Exactly. And the reason why it doesn't seem great to you is because why? If it was on the main network, you probably would feel the same way because you don't even watch main network television. But I can tell you, if it doesn't even make it to the main network, it puts a certain sense of dread or woe into the back of my mind where I feel like if it was so good, they'd save it for prime time.
Now, wait a second. Okay, I'm confused then. What CBS All Access is trying to make money based on a streaming service, right?
Sure, I suppose, but again, it's a derivative, it's a spin-off, it's a also added extra bonus to the CBS network.
Hmm. Okay, I
And
don't know if.
CBS is a main network. It'd be like if ABC released something to the ABC streaming service. Well, it's
But they want their streaming service to be successful, so they're trying to release to you exclusive content to try to get you to buy into it.
okay, exclusive, non-appealing to wide audiences content, niche content. I guess Disney streaming is doing the same thing, but at least they make it sound more appetizing when they say we're going to spend all kinds of money on it and we're going to use our top talent to get involved with it. I don't know that that's necessarily happening. I guess, what's his name from Get Out's kind of a big deal now, Jordan Peele. Um,
Yeah.
but I can
All
just
right.
tell you that the whole idea of something going direct to CBS Access doesn't make it more appealing to me. It doesn't. I'm not saying I won't watch it. It's The Stand, and it's a great story, and the first miniseries was terrific. So I'm not going to say I won't watch it. I'm just going to say, seems like they're cheaping out.
Okay. Stephen King has another series that's going to be coming to Hulu called Eyes of the Dragon.
Yeah. I read that book. Shock and behold, of all the books I've only read in my life, that's one of them.
Get out of town.
Yeah.
Why
So
did you read this book?
because at the time I was in love with his book Gerald's Game that I
Did
read
you
like
watch
one
Gerald?
summer
Did you
vacation.
watch Gerald's Game on Netflix?
I didn't.
Okay, but go ahead.
So I was like looking for stuff that wasn't necessarily in the horror genre that he wrote, and Eyes of the Dragon was more like a Lord of the Rings kind of thing. So I picked it up and got intrigued with it.
Was it good?
It was good. It was a good book.
The novel is set in the kingdom of Dalan and focuses on two royal brothers, Peter and Thomas, children of King Roland. Peter is heir to the throne, but Flag, the king's magician, has been secretly manipulating Thomas to do his bidding. Peter is eventually framed from a crime he didn't commit and locked away. Intrigue and a terror, you will thrill to this unforgettable narrative filled with relentless, wicked enchantment and the most terrible of secrets.
And did you know that Flag, the character in that book,
Sure.
is the same character Flag
From
from The
the
Stand?
stand, right,
Yeah.
and Roland from the dark. Yeah, I get the synergy with it. If it's anything like Castle Rock that was on Hulu, I never even finished the series. That's how when you talk about just letting something go, part of
Do
it for
we
me
know
to
what
be
network it's going to be on?
Hulu.
Hulu? See, I don't know. The Hulu originals also, sometimes they seem a little like on the cheap end.
Yeah, didn't you just watch that one where the girl kills her mom who was poisoning her or something else like that?
Oh, yeah.
It's called
I
The
mean,
Act.
The Act, yeah. I watched one episode of that. Did you watch the rest of that?
No, no, I didn't
Okay.
turn it on. No, not
Anyway,
interested. The
Runaways,
Hulu original shows are very hit and miss and more miss, if you ask me.
right. So, I don't know. I'm willing to give it a shot. Let's put it that way.
Okay, and my last thing is, where's my other story here? I had it right here on the tip of my tongue. Are you interested in Rick and Morty?
Not really.
Okay, well, the season 4 premiere is coming in November. I like Rick and
You watch
Morty.
that show? You watch that show, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I do watch that show. My nephew turned it on for me like an episode or something, and I laughed my ass off. And so then I
You're
binge
hooked.
watched all the seasons.
Did you really?
So, in elder abuse news, Stanley's manager was apparently absconding off with some of his cash.
Yeah, that's
So,
kind of unfortunate. That was a story that was sort of brought about like two headlines slightly before his death. That he was like not really being taken care of properly. I hope that's not true. I hope he didn't die, because of something like that.
yeah, well, we'll let the courts deal with that one. Well, Bill, that's all I have here. You want to move on to Box Office Mojo?
Sure.
Oh, holy shit.
What?
Looks like you're for Memorial Day weekend here on episode 89 of Don't Care. Um, Aladdin comes in at number 1 and pulls in $86 million.
Oh, that's pretty good. I think.
Yeah, and it made $121 million overseas, so it pulled in $207 million total on a budget of 183 million. A big budget, 183 million.
That's a lot of money. So
But
they're
that's a
gonna
good
make
start,
money. Yeah, that's a good start. 86 million is not horrible. That's for
especially
sure.
for something I think looks like a turd in the pond.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Are you gonna
but
watch it when it comes to Netflix, or when it comes to Disney streaming, or whatever it comes up to?
I can tell you that I didn't see the first one. I will not be watching the live
You've
action.
never seen Aladdin
No, I'm not a
because
fan of
it's a
I'm
musical?
not a fan of Robin Williams and his shtick. I like when Robin Williams does serious movies. I don't like when Robin Williams is like Jim Carrey, where they look like they need to be taking some sort of Ritalin or something else like a
It's a
tranquilizer.
Disney classic of the Renaissance era.
Oh.
It's the second of the third of the Renaissance era.
Well. I'll go get my tea and crumpets and then sit down with it.
I'm just saying.
Uh huh.
I can't imagine anyone in our generation never having seen that movie.
Isn't Dumbo also a part of that Disney Renaissance?
Dumbo's the original Disney success. Dumbo came out in the 40s. Are you talking about the new Dumbo?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh,
Dumbo wasn't part of the Renaissance. Dumbo was
this
part of the original.
oh, this is bad. This is
What?
fucking bad. Okay, anyway,
Bright
I'll get.
Brightburn, what? Got like a number 6? What?
Oh, yeah, you're so funny. You're spot on. Okay,
Was it
number
really?
two. Yeah, you're kind of close. Yeah, number two. Um, in its second week of release is John Wick, Chapter 3, Parabellum. Pulled in another
Okay.
$24 million, bringing its grand total to $175 million worldwide. It's made
Okay.
domestically $100 million. They're already greenlit John Wick Chapter 4.
4?
Um, you lost me after John Wick 1. Everything else after that has been mindless crap. But whatever else, I guess you got to have some Fast and Furious Transformers entertainment, and that fills the void. I don't see it, don't get it. I'm a fan of Keanu Reeves. Wake me up when he does The Matrix.
Okay.
Have you got any interest? I mean, it stars Halle Berry in it,
I've
so I
never
guess
seen it.
it's
I've
got to
never
be.
seen John Wick 1, so it's just a franchise that I just haven't
Yeah,
particularly
yeah,
found.
you're not missing out on anything though. Just watch
Okay.
Saving Private Ryan. You're fine.
Okay.
Number three, in its fifth week of release, Avengers Endgame. I forgot all about this. It pulled in another $16 million. Who are these people? These $16 million worth of people.
They're repeat
Uh,
viewers. That's what they are.
so where are we at? Is Avengers Endgame the number one movie of all time? Where are we at?
I believe it is close, if not there.
Its worldwide total is $2.677 billion.
Yeah, I think it has to be 2.8.
Oh, 2.8.
Yeah.
Oof. Okay. Well, it's only the fifth week, so it's amazing that a movie that's been out for 5 weeks and as popular as it was to bring in so much money is beating out all these other movies that are just opening up. It's
Right?
almost like they just like this. You know what? I know I already saw it like 5 weeks ago, but let's go see it again. How about one of these new movies? Nah, fuck it. They'll be on
Let's
DVD in
just
a
go see
couple
Endgame again, right?
months. Yeah. Number four, Pokemon Detective Pikachu pulling another $13 million, bringing its grand total worldwide. It's made a shit ton of money overseas to $352 million.
Wow.
Its budget was 150 million.
Impressive.
Yeah, it seems like it's only 116 million. I say only 116 million in the States, but it's made a lot of money. Okay, for the number five movie, Bill, in
Yeah.
its opening week, Brightburn. It pulled in $7 million.
Oh. Oh. Oh, that's terrible.
It's pulled in $7 million overseas, bringing its worldwide total to $15 million. Its budget is $6 million.
Well, I mean, for $6 million, again, it's almost hard not to succeed, but it's not
Now,
catching the world aflame. Oh, get
okay.
it?
Now, see, I don't know if the movie is good or not. I think you told me that the movie is an hour and a half, which, based on Payne's Law and rules, that's never a good sign, generally speaking. Usually, those movies
Right.
are just not really well done. They're just very thin, and there's just not very good material. Conversely, the movies that are also 2 hours and 20 minutes, it sounds like the people are just trying to be like some sort of Gone with the Wind movie, and they don't really know how to edit. 140, 100. Anyway, I won't go over it. I don't know. The concept of Brightburn and the trailers that I see make me interested in it because it seems counter and different than the normal story I get. I kind of like the idea of having a different type of Superman. Like it's what if
Like a
Superman was
less,
raised?
like a less successful Superman. That's the kind of like a Superman that no
Uh,
one wants to watch.
all right, so kick it when it's down. Okay, so okay, let's just kick it. Just kick it when it's down. All right. I'm just saying you could do it where Superman, instead of landing in the States in Kansas, lands over in Russia. and he becomes the Russian Superman. I like a different take on an old story. So this seems like a different take. I'm not saying I need a whole universe behind it, but I wouldn't mind it. I think that'd be kind of cool. But this is the same thing which you have with Unbreakable, and Split and Glass. You just have a different view on the superhero genre. It's unfortunate that it only pulled in $7 million, but I guess between with Aladdin, John Wick, and Avengers and Detective Pikachu, maybe that was just not the proper week for it to be opening. It got slaughtered.
Yeah, I'm sorry to tell you, but it's over for
But
Brightburn.
what also got even well, if you thought that was slaughtered, also opening this weekend was I think it's not Olivia Munn, it's Olivia Wilde's director movie Booksmart,
Oh
which is
yeah, I forgot that was opening.
yeah, it opened to $6 million.
Ooh,
Uh, they
these
call
are
it
rough.
no, that's rough because it looked kind of funny and weird. And what is it? They say it's like a I'm bad type of movie, that Seth Rogen movie or whatever else. I think it
Right?
was Seth Rogen. But anyway, that pulled in $6 million. So um, I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah. Not a good weekend for anything that wasn't either Disney, which has at least the top two or two of the top three movies out for the weekend,
That is
and one of
correct.
them's 5 weeks old, and the other one was seemingly somehow dead on arrival, just based on sort of the taste it was leaving in my mouth with the trailers and stuff.
Mhm.
But I'm glad Aladdin pulled it out, and I hope it's good. I really do.
According to this article I'm looking at, it says that fellow newcomers Brightburn and Booksmart finished more in line with studio expectations.
Really.
I don't know if that was the expectation I was expecting. See, the thing about it is, I don't know if it's good or not, and if it's good, then obviously, like with like my old Warcraft, I would want it to succeed, so maybe I could get more. Because I hear like with Brightburn, I didn't click on it. Like it sets it up for you to do a sequel or maybe add more to this universe, a la Glass and Split, which would be very cool to me. But once again, I don't know yet. I don't know yet. Um,
Well, we know we're, for one thing, probably it's not going to get a sequel, Brightburn, you know. But whether it's any good or not, that doesn't matter. Sometimes, good things just don't find an audience.
You know what? That's fuck that, Bill. We can do Brightburn too. We'll just. I'm gonna make a line item on the PCP podcast general fund, and we're gonna pull that money right out of there. Did you see that Harvey Weinstein had to pay 44 million, or he settled the case for 44 million?
For what? For one of his pottery
I think
peeing.
for several of his Me Too violations. But
Okay.
apparently, there's a couple female that are holding out and plan on taking his ass to trial.
Oh, really?
So, whatever.
Good for them.
So. All right, Bill. So what do you have for me? As I'm going to start to cue up
Uh,
our music.
I'm not doing much. I'm just going to relax for the next part of the weekend and play around with my poster case and see what I come up with. What about
Ooh,
you?
nice. Not so much. I'm hoping maybe to go to what's the word? Chipotle later on this evening. My woman's looking forward to going to bed, which is kind of exciting. I like getting into bed and sleeping. Who would
It's
ever
4 o'clock.
think that I would turn it?
Uh,
We were in bed. We were in bed yesterday by 8:30. See, this is what
really?
super fan Naughty has to do. When these kids get older, then all of a sudden she could be like this. Oh, she could be like, husband, you want to go upstairs and get in bed? He'd be like this. Yes, I do. Let's just go get in bed and relax. Who doesn't want to do
You
that?
let me get this right. Um, you 40-something-year-old people are going to bed at 8:30 on a Saturday night?
I'm not saying we were going to bed at 8:30 on a Saturday night. I said we go up and get in bed.
Oh, okay.
So
So the rest of
we
what
watch a
happened
show. We like
in
relaxing
the bed.
yeah,
Uh,
instead of sitting on a couch, we're actually just sitting in
gotcha.
bed relaxing.
Oh,
And then we
okay.
look at each other and go. She looked at me and she goes, you brushed your teeth, so that means you're probably not going to get a Klondike bar tonight, right? And I go, yeah, but I go, I don't know. I may. I go, it's still early. Maybe an hour from now, after we finish watching the show, I may just go get a Klondike. So an hour, once
Really?
the show was over, I go, you know what? I'm gonna go get a Klondike. She goes, go get me a Klondike bar. So the next thing you know, it around 9:30, we're both sitting there in bed eating Klondikes, dropping chocolate onto our chest.
Lovely. That's sex
Oh,
appeal.
oh, Klondike bar, so good. Oh.
That's about as sexy as me slipping on my BiPAP machine before I go to bed, and then my husband coming to kiss me.
Hey,
Good
honey, you
night,
want some of
honey.
this lovin'?
Yeah, super sexy.
Speaking of that, I think my test comes up in July. I got to look into that. I don't have my test. I have my sleep.
Oh,
The daughter, the
wait so long.
stepdaughter, recorded us from the bedroom that somebody was snoring, that you can hear it all the way down the hallway.
It was you,
So
right?
no, we don't know who it was. You can't tell. So
Does your
like
girl
if you,
or do you know?
I've
Like a
heard
trucker?
her.
Probably not.
I've heard her once or twice, but nothing where it's been like, of concern. Like
Okay,
you don't know if it's just a one-off or if it's something
right.
consistent. So, you know how these things are. It's a pattern. If you go out there and it's like, if I walk Ferg more than 2 miles,
Mhm.
you can best believe his ass is going to be tired and he'll be snoring in bed because he's just so exhausted. He can't help it. But right now they're
Uh,
sleeping all day, so there should be no like they're overly tired.
right.
Um. Anyway, all right, Bill. That's all I got.
All right.
I'm gonna shut down this program. Oh, there's another live cast. I received this email about live casting. Um,
What's
I
that?
I was well. It's something where we sit there and go, hey, by the way, we do our shows on Sundays at 2 o'clock. So if you want to call in or write, you can do that. And you can immediately be put on the show or something like that. I think that's the way it's sold to me. Like you can,
Hmm.
it's a live show essentially.
Right.
And I was playing around with it where I actually did a test run, but I can invite people, but it didn't really say like they could actually. I, I couldn't pipe you in. That's what I was trying to do.
Mhm.
It seems like people can write and be like, "Hey, PCP, I'm super fan Nadia. I'm listening to you guys right now. Your live cast, it's great. Can you address this issue live?" I was kind of hoping it would be something where you could also call in instead of write in during the show.
Right.
Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying. What I guess I'm saying is, unless there's a way I can figure out where we both can actually do it at the same time, that would be cool. And then we could just sit there and just do an email blast or a Twitter blast and say, by the way, we're doing the show. You can write us and listen to us live.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I would think so. I would love for there to be like typing up on the message. I'm like, oh, Bill, we're getting our first message. You guys suck. Get off the air. I'd be like, oh, okay, we're just going to ban that fan. Banned. All right, Bill. I'm rambling. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you finish doing your
All right.
business. Are you going to? What are you going to any
All right.
parades on Memorial Day? Are you going to just? Are you cooking
Hell no. We're
ribs?
going to see Aladdin tomorrow. We're going to see Aladdin.
Are you cooking out?
Yeah, we'll probably cook hamburgers and hot dogs or something similar. What are you doing?
I don't know what we're. Oh, we're going to a family function.
Oh, well, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that's always good. So better than going to work, I guess.
Damn straight.
So,
Cause
all
yeah,
right.
you do a lot of that lately.
Oh, well, okay. We're gonna scrub that comment once I go in there into the editing functions. I've been your co-host Payne,
I'm Bill.
and let you all have a safe and happy Memorial Day weekend.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.